If Sloppy Joes and pancakes had a baby, this right here quenches my corn addiction, my corn craving. I have to have corn, I have to have starch, I have to have pancakes in my life, and I just put two together, and we have Sloppy Joes. I am obsessed with corn. I have to have it in my life. Everyone knows I love potatoes, but I have to have corn. And the first thing I've ever made was pancakes. I heard of a hoe cake. And so what is a hoe cake? And it's like basically it's cornmeal or semolina or something cornmeal based. So when I first had a hoe cake or Johnny cake, naturally, I do homework. So I found it was called a hoe cake because they literally cooked it on top of a hoe. Like they took the hoe and they heated it up or something, and something about slavery and war and civil war or something like that. Or something, I wasn't there. So you take this hot hoe and you put you made your cornmeal batter or whatever, and you cooked on top of the hoe. Nowadays, we don't cook with hoes no more. What we do is we use cast iron skillets. We use stainless steel. We use other skillets, but the popular one that everyone uses is the cast iron. I wish we could take it back to using hoes only, but we I guess didn't have skillets back in those days. So voila, now we're here. Hoe cake, Jonathan cake, Johnny cake, whatever. I don't know who Johnny is. I'm assuming he's the guy that after they got through dealing with hoes, a guy named Johnny decided to do his way on cast irons, I guess. I wasn't there, and neither were you. So what's going to happen is, I'm thinking about a pancake, but with cornmeal. So right here is all-purpose flour. I like to say all-purpose instead of AP because I'm not lazy. And then right here we have cornmeal. You can use cornmeal or semolina or whatever corn, dried, whatever you want to use. I use baking powder. People say, you have to use baking soda. No, it's a whole different video, but I'm using baking powder because it has a purpose, and a little goes a long way. And don't be afraid to taste your mix. Don't be afraid to taste what you got going on here. I have salt, I think. Yeah, this is salt. Just a little bit of that. Some people say, no, you have to add it with the wet. No, I'm just making a mix. Let's not overthink it. And then every time I hear corn, I think about sweet. I have a sweet tooth. So in my mind, if you make cornbread, or in this case, a hoe cake, it needs to have some sugar. In my mind, I'm eating it, you're not. So what I do, and if y'all want to be like me, add some sugar to it. So I'm gonna mix all this together. And then some whole milk, locally sourced. And I'm just gonna look at the consistency of what I want to have happen. So now I'm looking at it, and it's just too dry. Add more. We will provide an accurate recipe for you guys. So this right here, I think it needs a little bit more action. And it gets one egg, because 2 eggs will ruin your life. I like the eyeball stuff. And also I'll taste the batter as well. People are afraid to taste the batter. If they're making pancakes or if they're making whatever they're making, they're just like, well, I don't taste it. I said, well, why not? Just taste it. And that way you know if it's too salty or if it's too sweet, you can adjust it. This is clarified butter, because when I make pancakes, this is what I do. And so to me, I just want to taste it. I think, when you look up hoe cake recipes, you're gonna see a whole lot of stuff. You're gonna see a whole lot of different people's ways of thinking. And I don't want to overthink it. I just want to make a pancake mix, but instead I'm using half and half cornmeal and all-purpose flour. Did I add milk already? Yeah, it's gone. Yeah, I already added milk, right? Do you remember me adding milk? Never mind. All right, cool. So we're here, and I'm going to taste. And it's appropriate. I taste the butter. I taste all that stuff. So now some people let it rest for a while. I'm not in the resting mood. You can just make it right then and there, or you can let it rest, but I want to eat right now. I'm hungry, so I'm gonna eat it now. And now since this mix is done, we're gonna bring out the cast iron skillet and start cooking. So this consistency, I've seen some that look like bricks. I've seen some look like water. I'm just doing this right here because I know some do right. I like my consistency like I like my women. I'll stop right there. All right, cool. So no butter is necessary, no oil is necessary. There's so much fat in here already, it's not going to stick. There's a mindset that you have to put butter and oil and everything for it not to stick. In this case, there's already fat and butter and stuff already in here, so it's not going to stick. And I like that golden brown across the board look. So with me personally, that's what I want to do. The whole world, they put butter on it. and it breaks and stuff. I don't personally don't want to do that. As a kid, I was obsessed with sloppy joes. That was the best thing in third grade. And then I haven't had a sloppy joe in a long time, and I'm obsessed with corn. And so I heard about the hoe cake. I was like, man, how about if I just make a hoe cake with some more topping on that, and then when you put those things together, you get a sloppy hoe. So that's what we're making right here. These are sloppy hoes. And feel free to go ahead and test it, pre-flip it, look at it, touch it. There's no rules to this stuff. Like, use your eyes. Your eyes is your guide. Your eyes will let you know, like, hey, it's time to flip it. Your nose will tell you when it's time to check it, that kind of stuff. So right now, I can just tell it's already ready to flip. I can say medium-high heat. I can say medium heat, low heat. There's no rules to this stuff, right? Just pay attention. Everyone's equipment is different. And I think I'm ready to go. That wasn't. This can be the golden browner. This one looks like it, in theory, this looks like it's ready to go. So let me go ahead and check this out. I like that look, that golden brown across the board look. This is what I like to eat. This is, when I think about cakes and hoes, I like the whole thing to be golden brown. Like, that's what, when I started getting obsessed with pancakes, this was my thing. I like that look. I don't like the broken buttered look. I don't. Everybody you see on Google does. And right now, feel free to touch it. Like, I tasted the batter. I don't use, the average grandmother doesn't use recipes. Like, so whatever your meemaw and your grandmother and your momo said, look, everyone is different. There's no rules to none of this stuff. Now, I see a lot of smoke happening, so I'm gonna turn off the heat. And it's cast iron, so it's gonna hold off. It's gonna hold up. You can use a regular skillet. You can use nonstick skillet. There's no rules to this stuff, no matter what your grandmother did. So this right here, long story short, this is unsalted butter and bacon fat. And so instead of having it all broken on the skillet before, I want to have it all where it's coating the whole thing. I want to taste all the unsalted, the emulsified butter. I don't want to taste it all broken. Me personally, do what you want to do. There's no rules to none of this stuff. This is literally what I want to do and how I want to eat it. And now we're going to plate it. Thank you for making this a reality. This is in my head, haunting me for 4 years.
Of course, brother.
So this is fresh corn. This is smoky bacon, popcorn cream, and some chives. That's what gives us that sloppiness. I've never heard of this in my life. I'm pretty sure someone's done it before. And now we have the mixture. If sloppy joes and pancakes had a baby, you'd get this. You get sloppy hoes. Yeah, sloppy hoes. This right here quenches my corn addiction, my corn craving. I have to have corn. I have to have starch. I have to have pancakes in my life. And I just put two together, and we have sloppy hoes. Just a little bit too good. That's all I had, yeah. Sloppy hose. I've never heard of this in my life. This is a dream of mine. I've always wanted sloppy hose. It was a fantasy of mine, and so voila, here we are. If y'all love hoe cakes, and if you love corn, if you love pancakes, you should love this. Let me know in the comments how much you love sloppy hose.